You'll never forget me! Get ready to feel the...
What is up, Evil Dead fans? In this video, I'm going to end the whole debate of the question, were the inside handles in Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, were they vertical or horizontal inside handles? Now, first and foremost, I have to just let you guys know, when it comes to Ash vs. Evil Dead, we do know that with all the research everybody's done, everybody who knows how they've been built, they were horizontal handles. That's just kind of how those were built. Now, I'm going to show you guys clips of Army of Darkness and explain everything, because there's an easy way to explain it and also a scientific way to explain it, and I'm going to go over both. Now, why not show videos of Evil Dead 2, just Army of Darkness? Now, the reason for that is because the one thing that I do know, and a lot of us know, especially Chris Pollock, we've talked about this and discussed this whole thing, is the workshed chainsaw, the flat top that you saw him cut his boomstick with. That was the working chainsaw in Army of Darkness. The hero chainsaw that Ash was wearing in Evil Dead 2, the race top that everybody's pretty familiar with, became in Army of Darkness the non-working chainsaw. One thing we're going to have to remember here is the tops were welded, they were steel, and also that the chainsaw bars were real chainsaw bars. And in Army of Darkness, they used a bar with that extended tip that we all know and love. And also they used the chainsaw bar from Evil Dead 2. And they were swapped back and forth. So if you're looking at videos and photos and comparing them by chainsaw bar, you can't do that because they swapped them back and forth. Now, let's talk first and foremost of why did they have a raised top? Now, we all know it's for hand room. Let's go over hand room. If you have a horizontal handle, like this, there's really no room or reason, rhyme or reason, to have a raised top. Because this is the top I'm working on right now, you can see you're still going to hit. And Bruce Campbell's about 3 inches taller than I am, so I know his hand's a lot bigger. So a horizontal handle, it doesn't make sense to make it raised up. To raise the top up, which these tops are 3 1/4 inches wide on width, to raise it up this way for hand room, there you go. This hand is still a little bigger, but still you're going to get your hand in there with a vertical handle versus horizontal. So what I'm going to show you next is 2 different chainsaws that I have. And that's all I got left. I have Army of Darkness, which has a vertical handle, and then I have my Post-Apocalyptic, which has a horizontal handle. And I will show you the difference in positioning of how it naturally sits, and to prove scientifically, before we go to the easy part, why they had both. Alright, so this is my Post-Apocalyptic chainsaw. This one has the horizontal handle, which horizontal is going side to side, not up and down. The natural way to hold it, as you've seen in Ash vs. Evil Dead, is like this. Where you have the grill straight out and the side handle out. You can do this, hold it like this with ease. Now, going like this is harder. It's a lot harder. So, when you see Ash cut up the pit bitch, now if you saw that, when he whips it around, his hand's like this. Now, if he had a vertical handle, his wrist wouldn't be in that position. And also, when he grabs his belt, you'll see that the grill is straight up. So let's look at that right now. Okay. Now we have my Army of Darkness chainsaw. It has a vertical inside handle, straight up and down. As you can see, the normal way to hold it's like this or like this. It's never like this because that's awkward. The reason why it's like this is for comfort and seeing. What we're going to see right now is Ash running from the pit bitch in the pit. Now you got to remember, when it comes to Army of Darkness, they swap chainsaws between the two so many times, filming that whole sequence. And you'll see him when he's surprised by the pit bitch, you'll see that the top handle is straight out versus to the side if it was horizontal. So you got horizontal, vertical handle on position of the chainsaw. So you go horizontal, vertical. So you'll see him doing this, and when he chops your hand off like this, you will see it still straight up and down. And you gotta imagine with a real bar, which this one does have the same real bar, it would be very, very difficult to be sideways like this and pull your hand up. This would be if I had a horizontal handle in a chainsaw. So, and lastly, let's look right now when he comes out of the pit. All right, so now he came out of the pit. Now, this is with the vertical handle coming up and down. Now, know in your wrist position, you're in a hammer position. When he comes down, he rolls a little bit like this, and then it goes right back to this position here, where it's nice and straight, top handle's out. Same when he gets pulled out of the pit, which you see right now. All right, now I have a horizontal handle in this. This one's horizontal. Now let's see how easy it is with a full bar to look like I'm climbing out of something. So I'd have to come up and do this. And it's actually tight on the shoulder and the wrist, so it's very awkward. And when he crawls out of the pit, if he was wearing a horizontal handle, he would roll his wrist into it. And when he came out, which he'd probably injure his wrist, honestly, doing that roll, it would actually naturally go into a side position like this versus back to that position of a vertical handle. All right, so there's the scientific reasoning behind that with a wrist twist and the way things were filmed and the way you see him standing and holding the chainsaw. Now let's go to the easy way of knowing it. Now in Burbank, California, they have the Evil Dead Museum, and you'll see in this photo right here that the non-working chainsaw has a drywall screw through the top of it that's holding in the vertical handle. Well, there it is. Easy as that. Now I want to thank Chris Pollock for all these long discussions on inside handles, things like that. And if you want me to get more in depth with Evil Dead 2 and their inside handles, I can definitely do that. But it's very simple, they had both. And always remember, Ash vs. Evil Dead was strictly horizontal. As far as we all know, that's all it was. That's kind of how they were designed. And the one thing I didn't cover, but I'll say this real quick, why did they have a horizontal handle in Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness? Well, I think I might have said this, I don't remember, but I'll say it again. It's because of how it worked, how it ran. That's the reason why I have a vertical handle and have all the stuff make it work, but everything's gonna be in the way. There's not a lot of room in those things. And also, I know somebody's gonna say, well, in Evil Dead 2, the one you said that turned into the non-working one that had a vertical handle, you could see the chain turn. Yes, it did, but it wasn't mechanically turned. It was a different method. And I will cover that in a future video. And seriously, it's very simple how they did those chainsaws. They're very, very cool. It's pretty much, let's make it work. They made it work, and it became iconic. And I got a lot of other stuff I'm gonna pull out of my ass for this channel. And like I said, I'm expanding a little bit too. And I hope you guys join me on that. And got some sweet, sweet stuff coming. Until next time, you guys stay groovy.